You know, let's just discuss really briefly what the biggest misconception of hair transplantation is. And I can tell you that the number one thing that everyone always says is, hey, I don't want it to look like I've had a hair transplantation. I want it to be, I want it to look natural. I don't want that pluggy look. The pluggy look is long gone, especially when you're dealing with procedures that are in our hands, because we're doing essentially what we call follicular unit extraction, which is to say that we literally put the hair in place as the follicular units are naturally occurring in the actual skull. So the old days, when people looked like they had plugs, they used to take very large punches of groups of hair, and then they put them into the scalp. And as many of you know, as time goes on, those look very artificial and very fake. In today's world, we actually implant single hairs or single follicular units at a time. So at most, we're implanting a couple of hairs at a time. And by putting them in those configurations, it makes the hair look extremely natural, essentially imperceptible to any casual observer. The best compliment that I get is when patients come back and say, hey, my hairdresser saw my hair transplant, and they said, oh my God, I would never even be able to tell you had this done. I can't see any scars. I can't see any evidence of that plugged look. It looks so natural, it looks great. And, to me, that's like the highest compliment. So hairdressers are definitely potentially our biggest critics, but also it's always great when we hear great things as well. So.